Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to celebrate the love that Scott and Shannon have for each other. But what do we mean by love? To love is to enter a whole new world, a world of togetherness, a world of sharing all that is dearest and deepest within our hearts. To love is to remember and to keep alive forever all those unique qualities that drew the two of you together in the beginning. To love is to constantly search for new ways, to bring happiness to each other, to make the most of every moment you share together. To love is to create an oasis of tranquility for one another, a quiet place, apart from others, where you need not to pretend, where you can be yourselves, and know within your hearts you will be accepted by one another. To love is to greet each day with anticipation, always eager for another opportunity to share new adventures and to gather up new memories together. To love is to watch with wonder all the miracles of creation, to find beauty in all the simple things of life, and to find within yourselves a deeper appreciation and a new awareness of how wonderful it is to be alive, to be happy, and most of all, to be together. To love is to come together from the pathways of our past and then move forward hand in hand along the uncharted roads of your future, ready to risk, to dream, and to dare, and to always know that all things are possible when you have faith in God and love for each other. For when we love, we see things other people do not see. We see beneath the surface, to the qualities that make our beloved special and unique. To see with loving eyes is to know the inner beauty, and to be loved is to be seen and known as we are known to no one else. Just as two very different threads woven in opposite directions can form a beautiful tapestry, so can your two lives merge together to form a beautiful marriage. To make your marriage work will take love. Love should be the core of your marriage. Love is the reason you are here. But it will also take trust, to know in your hearts you want the very best for each other. It will take dedication, to stay open to one another, to learn and to grow together, even when this is not always easy to do. And it will take faith, to always be willing to go forward to tomorrow, never really knowing what tomorrow will bring. And it will take commitment, to hold true to the journey you now both pledge to share together. Scott and Shannon, the commitment of marriage is one of the most important decisions you will ever make in your life. The vow of marriage is a pledge to each other for a lifetime of love. You are committing to share all that life has to offer, the good times and the bad, with patience and understanding. For your marriage to remain strong, the trials and tribulations of everyday life must not shake your faith in one another. But beyond the love and respect you share, there must be a strong sense of commitment and loyalty, and a willingness to understand and accept each other's strengths and weaknesses. You must have an openness and a willingness to communicate with each other, to be great friends who really like each other as well as love each other. Please turn and face each other. So, how did their love story begin? Well, it didn't start quite as your typical love story. They met briefly at Davidson's bar where Morgan bartended. Shannon had just moved back from Texas. Scott had just come back from Colorado, and it was October of 2007. Then 2 weeks later was when the sparks literally started flying. See, Shannon and Scott saw each other again at a Halloween party and spent the evening arguing over all this little stuff. Shannon told her friend Anna that Scott was really annoying. that's changed. They like to say Scott was just a bad flirt. No, we'll see. But as he went to his car, he asked her to come out to his car with him. The reality was, they both thought each other was cute and wanted to find out more about the other person. As they were outside, Scott called her over and all of a sudden kissed her. Shannon didn't mind at all. So I guess Scott wasn't as bad of a flirt as they said he was, huh? What surprised Shannon is that he never asked her for her number. But about a week later, out of the blue, Scott texted her. See, he had gotten her number from Morgan. There you go. They kept talking and hanging out with each other and friends for the next month, but never went out on an official date. Finally, he asked her out for her birthday in December of that year. He was playing it cautious because the truth is, he wanted his next girlfriend to be the one. After the first date, they had been virtually inseparable since. For Valentine's Day that year, Scott gave Shannon a heart-shaped necklace and said, "This is my heart, and I give it to you." That's when you go, "Aw." What a perfect line. They both were in love, and they both knew that this day would come even though it was early on in their relationship. So, in January of 2010, they started looking at rings. Scott knew he wanted to propose to Shannon on a romantic, tropical beach because that was what Shannon always wanted. They started planning to go to Riviera Maya, Mexico. Shannon was thinking that this could be a perfect time for him to ask. But the night before they left, listen to this, she went through the luggage and he didn't even react or look nervous. So she thought, maybe he didn't have the ring after all. Scott, knowing her ways, had cut a hole in the lining of his backpack and had stuffed the ring down in the lining. What a smart man. And by the time they got down to Mexico, Shannon was enjoying herself so much that a proposal wasn't on her mind any longer. Then Saturday, May 8th of 2010, for some reason, Scott didn't want to do his usual morning activity of going swimming. So Shannon suggested that they take a walk on the beach, which fit perfect into Scott's plan. As they were walking, Scott suddenly stopped her and began fumbling around in his pocket. Finally, after a while, he pulled out a napkin. It felt like it took him forever to unfold the napkin, which had the ring inside. But he made it, and he got down on one knee. Shannon was in such shock, all she could see was his lips moving, but didn't hear anything he said. After a few minutes of standing there speechless, she finally was able to tell him yes. It was the perfect proposal. Just what she had always dreamed of. What made it even better was that the resort photographer took pictures of the proposal, and that wasn't even planned. Shannon also had always hoped there would be somebody there to take pictures. Too bad there wasn't a videographer there, so Shannon could hear the words and could remember what Scott said that day. So what is it that Shannon especially loves and appreciates about Scott? Since they have been together, he has provided her with strength, security, confidence, honesty, and love. He has always been there. She loves the fact that Scott is a dork, but it makes him so darn cute. She loves it when he mouths the word olive juice.
No.
Did I get that? Olive juice? Out of the blue. She loves the way he gets angry whenever she is late. Yet, he waits for her as long as it takes. Shannon loves how hard of a worker Scott is, and that he would do anything for her. Like how he presses the rewrite button on his radio to learn the lyrics of every Katy Perry song so he could sing along. Really? Wow. That is love.
It's crazy.
As Shannon puts it, I love that he has learned to go along with the fact that I am always right. I love that he loves me for me. I love that he is my best friend and my knight in shining armor. I love that I get to spend the rest of my life with him. What is it that Scott especially loves and appreciates about Shannon? He loves that he can be himself when he is with her. Her beauty continues to make his head turn. The fact that she's the first and only person he has ever loved, and the first person who has ever truly loved him. He loves her voice and the way she speaks to their dog, or should I say, their son, Taz. This is what Scott wants to say to Shannon. You're my best friend, and you're the one who makes me happy. Since being with you, I have had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you. Because of you, no matter what may come tomorrow, today my life is more complete. I cannot imagine being me without you. My love for you will never fade. You are the love of my life, and now finally you're going to be my wife. The couple will honeymoon in Kauai, in Maui, Hawaii, and then come back to their new home, getting a baby brother or sister for Taz. Remember, that's their dog. And then, after that, plan on having a few kids in the future. Scott and Shannon, I challenge you to love with the greatest love there is, unconditional love. It is easy to love someone who does nice things for you. It's also pretty easy to love someone you respect and admire. But there's something that goes far beyond the words, I love you if, or I love you because. Unconditional love says to the other person, I love you anyway, and I will love you always, no matter what. Now this is the rarest love of all, and it certainly has the most risk. But no marriage can last without it. It should never be given lightly, but once given, it should never be withdrawn. When we pray the Lord's Prayer, we ask God to forgive us in the same way we forgive others. Scott and Shannon, unfortunately, neither of you are perfect, although you look absolutely perfect. You will each make mistakes, but unconditional love says to the other person, I forgive you, I still love you, and I will stay with you for the rest of my life.